Hi all, this is Dr. J streaming live from Long Island, New York, where again, just like last week, it looks like the skies are about to open any minute. Remember last week in the middle of my broadcast, we got some thunder boomers, and looking out the window, it looks like much the same. Seems like I think it was Saturday that I broadcast, every Saturday it seems to rain, and not just rain, but some violent downpour. Let's see what happens weather-wise. Let's see what happens in the week ahead on Wall Street. The week behind was pretty damn good. All-time highs for the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ, but not the RUT. The RUT has some catching up to do, and I believe it will catch up. I believe it's a place to put your money. I've got my money there. I don't know about your money, but a lot of I have all four funds, ETFs, but I have more disproportionate amount in the RUT at this point. I think it has some catching up to do. Over the last 20 years, it's been the best performing index. And I think we are going to have a superb stock market from here till the end of the year. So with that in mind, I think the RUT is a place to be. I think we're going to have a cis-boom-bar market rally that will help Donald Trump. And that's just an aside. Maybe I shouldn't even mention that. In any event, but I do believe that's going to happen. And will the Fed raise? I don't think so. Will they hold rates? Maybe. Will they lower? Probably. So in an environment where the Fed is likely to lower, the market is likely to go higher, and bonds are likely to go the other direction with rising, no, it should continue to be strong with lower interest rates, depending how you look at it. When the interest rates get lower, your bond is worth, the principal is worth more. In any event, I have also charted today the 10-year, which I never really charted before. That is the 10-year Treasury bond. We also have charts of the Dow, the RUT, the Bitcoin, which had a nice day on Friday. What else did I chart? I promised in a tweet that I would chart the hot fish oil stocks, the Caste and Ameren, and both are hot as can be, places that Dr. J has his money, and also OCUL, Ocular Therapeutics, a double for Dr. J in about a matter of a month. And instead of taking half off like I did with a Caste, I added 3/4 of my original investment, roughly 75% more, looking for a swing trade to 6. Because I said last week, if it breaks $5 or so, time to jump in. It looks like it's got a great chance of hitting 6. So I could have jumped in a little earlier when I saw it break out of its little triangle pattern, pennant pattern, whatever you want to call it. But I held off for $5 instead of being greedy. I wish I were greedy and gotten in a little earlier. But I'll show you what I mean on the charts. So we're looking at 7 names altogether: Ocular Therapeutics, Caste, Pharmaceuticals, Ameren, and Bitcoin, the RUT, the Dow, what else? The 10-year. All right, so let's get to it. As always, do your own due diligence. My opinions are strictly my own and do not constitute investment advice. No matter how many times I say it, people say, please give me a tip. I don't give tips. I just share with you what I am doing, what I am thinking up here. I don't listen to anybody else. I might, but they're not tips. I don't get inside information. I don't know anything more than any other semi-intelligent human being that plays the market. This is my opinion alone. If you want to follow Dr. J, it's at your own risk and with the advice of your investment advisor. Having said that, let's get to the video charts. Of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. Tell your friends about us. And let's get to those charts. I share the link, write comments, do all those things. Give me a thumbs up. Be nice to Dr. J. Dr. J is nice to you. I've been hot as blazes in my predictions over the last year or so. Some of them have been really good winners, including Biopath, including quite a few calls on the market direction that I've nailed. Have I been wrong? Of course, nobody bats 1,000%. The Dow Jones Industrial Averages, let's begin right there. I'm going to be very, very honest with you. I have not looked at the chart in a week. We're going to look at it together. I'm thrilled, of course, that it took out 26,951. Notice on Friday it did pull back to close below that mark. So I'd rather it should close above, but what are you going to do? Let's take a look at that level. I think it did close above that level on Thursday. Thursday it closed at 966. So we have a closing high above the intraday high back in, when was it? October? I think it was October. Doesn't really matter. We have a new high finally on the Dow. So I am absolutely thrilled, so thrilled that let's hear a little applause for the Dow Jones Industrial Averages. That's Dr. J clapping hands. It's about time. Okay, I'm going to clap a lot, my hands and feet, when the rut makes a new all-time high. So what did I say about the Dow? I'm a little disappointed we didn't hold that 26,950, but considering how the type of day we could have been, we got away lucky. Look at the big lower shadow, practically no upper shadow, so we closed at the high of the day. It's actually a very bullish candle, even though we're down 43 points. I expect to follow through to the upside on Monday. The only thing that could derail this market a little bit, and I'm not even sure that it will, is a Fed decision to hold on rates. Does Dr. J think they will? No! I think the bullet contingent of the Fed will have its way, and we will get a rate cut, 1/4 point. James Bullard, I think he's somewhere in the Midwest, one of the Fed chairs, Fed committee members, voting committee members. Powell is a little more dovish, but a little more careful in his rate cuts. But I think you'll see the 1/4 point. It's interesting to hear opinions on it. It's all over the place. Okay, anyway, rather than talk about other pundits' opinions, I'm giving you my opinion that they will move. We will get a continuation of the rally from here until the end of the year and beyond. I think this rally has legs. I don't think it's going to be one new high and collapse. I really, really don't. I think we're going to see quite a few new highs, big move up. I think the Trump campaign was going to love it. The Democrats are going to have trouble because we had blowout job numbers. It's hard to talk about the economy and not give some credit to the incumbent. Not saying I am a Trump supporter. I'm just saying with respect to the economy, things are looking pretty good. Of course, the case for cutting that was put forth by James Bullard is that the jobs report is a lagging indicator, and so did Neil Duda from Renaissance Capital make this argument. And forward-looking indicators are much weaker. And Neil Duda, in particular, from Renaissance Capital, pointed out the inverted yield curve gets him very worried that we could be in a recession a year from now. And if the Fed acts now, maybe we avoid it or soften it. So it's not a bad argument. I think the Fed will heed the warning of many economists who want this move to the downside on the rates. So that's just Dr. J's opinion, and James Bullard is very much on my side, so to speak. The rut. The Russell had a good day Friday, a very good day considering all the other averages were down. Notice the rut was up 0.22%, S&P down 0.1, Dow down 0.16, and the NASDAQ down 0.1. Actually, S&P down 0.2. Okay, so let's take a look at the rut. The RUT stands for the Russell 2000 stocks that are in this index. And what I did is I drew this is an old chart, so I have a trend line going up, stemming back all the way to the lows of 6.3, and we did break that trend line, and now we're trying to catch back up to it. I think we have a lot of catching up to do, especially compared to the other indices, and I think we're going to see a phenomenal move on the broader market. And the leadership, I think, will shift from stodgy large cap stocks that have seen enormous run-ups to the small caps that have really been clobbered in recent years. So I think it's the small caps' turn to play catch up and lead the market in its final blow off stages of the bull. So that's always been my opinion since I started this blog a year ago. You can go back as long as you want. You're going to hear a very optimistic Dr. J going back a year ago, May, when I started this vlog. I was saying sis boom ba, blow off top. I'm still saying sis boom ba, blow off top. And Dr. J, on his discretionary portfolio, is using a lot of small caps, in particular biotechs, which I have a soft spot in my heart for. So part of it is the charts, part of it is my fundamentals, and part of it is I like the stories behind most of them. They're really, really great stories. You want to see them come true, because it offers great hope to sick people and going forward to our children and grandchildren to fight the ravages of diseases like cancer, HIV, neurological diseases, all sorts of diseases that seem to be running rampant in recent years, especially as people live older. They're much more likely to get diseases like Alzheimer's, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, all of these horrible diseases. So that's the problem with one of the problems that the biotechs are trying to resolve. And that's one of the reasons I own a ton of biotechs. In particular, I look at the charts, so it's not just a story. Anyway, I want to look at the RUT. The RUT is trading above the 100. It's trading above the 50. It's trading above the 200. These are moving averages. What I would like to see is the 50 cross the 100. Once that happens, I might just add to my position, even though it's heavily skewed towards the IWMs over the Qs, over the diamonds, and over the spiders. I still will add, I want to add to the IWMs. I'd like it the best. I want to see more proof by crossover of the 50 and the 100. I also want to see a catch up to this trend line. So if the RUT does all that, it will show me great strength, and I believe it will first take out the high of May 6th, 1618, and go on to new all-time highs. I believe we have 15% move left before any pullback, and that's saying a mouthful. So that's what I believe. Could I be wrong? I've been wrong before. So I could. Bitcoin, I charted this for JD from Dallas, Texas. Hey, JD. I know you're probably watching unless you're barbecuing or something. JD loves to barbecue. Let me see if JD is on. JD, you on? I'm going to look at the chat messages. Look at this lag. JD is on. JD, what do you got to say? JD and Greg are having a nice chat. Hey, Greg. Hey, JD. I've been talking about you, JD, and Bitcoin. You still in it, man? 94 in Dallas, Texas, JD says. Wow, 81 in Long Island, New York, JD. Why don't you come pay me a visit? Of course, it's icky, sticky, hazy, hot, humid anyway, but it's not 94. All right, so Bitcoin. Let's see what JD has to say. KAG. KAG, that must be a symbol. Maybe we'll look at it later. JD says KAG. Of course, JD does not give recommendations. Neither do I. We just state some ideas to consider. Please invest carefully with doing your own due diligence, etc., etc., etc. Okay, Bitcoin chart for JD. I have not looked at this since last week, JD, when it pulled back a bit. Let's see how it looks now. I want to get the Dow off. I want to get the RUT off. So we have a little more speed. It seems like when I have too many screens open, it slows me down. Okay, no internet, wonderful. How to play? Uh-oh. Why do I have no internet? That's not good. Is that Bitcoin says no internet. TNX. Is TNX going to load? I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. I see a picture of a blue circle. That's not good. I don't know. I'm going to stop sharing screen for a moment. How's that? We'll see what happens if I do that. Share screen. I don't think I am sharing screen. This is messed up. Wonderful. I don't even see where it is. Uh-oh. I think I lost it. Oh boy. What to do? No idea what to do. Let's see if we can get it back. You're about to join. Right. Okay, Gerald Myers in the video call. You're about to join a hangout on the air. Join. Okay, let's see if I'm there or not. Doesn't look like it. I don't know. Any pick? What's going on? I can't get the screen. Hi all, this is Dr. J, streaming live from Long Island, New York. I hope this video goes well because I just gave it a try a little while ago and something technical happened in the way of a glitch, a technical glitch. So I'm going to try it again and hope for the best. We were talking about the markets at a glance, my bullish view on the markets. We had quite a few people on live watching with me, and maybe that's a problem. When I lost connection, I couldn't get back in myself. Maybe that's a problem. I don't know. But in any event, I hope that if you were watching live before, you can find me again live in this broadcast. I'm going to take a look at my phone and see. Yeah, that seems to be the case. Okay, so I think I am live again. I don't know if what I had to say earlier is going to be saved or not, but what we were very bullish on the Dow. I've been very excited that it made a new all-time high, that it actually closed above 2951 on Thursday, gave back very little on Friday. The rut, we looked at the rut and we said that's the place that Dr. J is liking to be, put his money in, because the rut is behind the other three indices, has not made a new high, a new all-time high since about a long time, 10 months, something like that, maybe longer. So I think the rut is going to play catch up. Small caps, I think, are a place to be going forward. I also, to summarize, think the Fed will cut in its meeting this month, 1/4 point. I pointed to James Bullitt's arguments and economist Neil Duda. So anyway, Neil isn't so sure they're going to cut, but he's hoping they will, just to try to get it straight. Probably the same is true with Bullitt. Not going to be sure they're going to listen to his arguments this time when they didn't the last time. Although certainly their language indicates that they're more likely to cut in July than they were in June. They were giving us something to look forward to in June. So we're going to get to the sharing. As always, do your own due diligence. My opinions are strictly my own, do not constitute investment advice. Please consult with an advisor before acting on any of my ideas. Also, tell your friends about this wonderful blog. Where else can you get blogs that disappear in the middle? Where else can you get Dr. J's great opinions, the opinions of Dr. J's friends, and hopefully they're still with me on this particular blog. So let's see. Starting again, and I'm not going to redo the charts of the Dow or the RUT well, maybe we will look at Bitcoin again at the end. But we're going to start with, let's start with the biotechs, OCUL, Ocular Therapeutics. Let's see if people are still on. Looks that way. Looks that way. Looks like people are still on. Okay, great. JD says, there you are, I hear the birds. If the birds are chirping, that's a good sign, JD. And there's no rain yet, so maybe it'll hold off till tonight. Anyway, we have this very big breakout candle on OCUL. I said in my intro originally that I was very bullish on OCUL. I bought it at about, down here at about 250 somewhere, right in here somewhere. I don't know, probably in the middle of this candle. So I bought it back down there, done nicely, but when it was in this triangle last week, I said we're going to break out of it, and that's the time to buy. And I said 5 will get you 6. So when it broke 5, which was a high back here on 225, it gave me enough confidence that it's going to go to 6, which is the next high that we have to take out. $6 back, 605 back in 1211, and $6 even back on 1212. So I think we're going to test those highs. So I bought 3/4 more, added to my position, 75% more shares at 5, even though I had a double. And unlike what I did with the Caste, I took half of it off the table. I left everything on the table and added on this one. So I really like the chart. I hope I'm right. I like when I'm right better than I like when I'm wrong. Does that make sense? I guess so. So I just wanted to show you where we stand. I could have drawn this differently. I could have drawn it just as a flag, bullish flag. But I like to draw it as a triangle because it shows when, if I draw it as a triangle, it's clearer that we're coming to the end of the consolidation period and we're due to break out. I could have bought it back here on 7/1, paid a lot less. I probably should have bought a little bit back then, but instead I waited for the $5 breakout. Then probably I won't matter that much because I'm going to sell 3/4 of, I'm going to sell most of what I bought at 6, should I hit my target. Ameren is, and the Caste are both fish oil stocks. They're both fishy stocks that are making people rich. Ameren had a run from $2 to $23. We like those kind of runs. I can't say I've been in it since $2, but I've been in and out of it since $12. So that's still not bad. I'm still in it. I haven't sold any lately. It made a new high on Friday, 23.91. New all-time high, taking out the previous all-time high of 23.25 on March 5th. Did not close above it, pulled back at the end to close at, where to close at? 23.16. Still a pretty doggone good number for Ameren Corporation. I drew in a trend line here and actually a channel, parallel trend line here. I kind of think it's going to test this upper end of the upper trend line or top of the channel at about 25, 26, and either will bounce off or actually go through. Goes through, then it's heading for the 30s. Bounces back, still no big deal. I think it finds support at the lower end, 24, 25. So I think we're in very good shape. The chart is very bullish. The results of their sales numbers on the quarter were beat expectations. The indication to the application to extend their indication to more than just hypertriglyceriditis. I'm saying it wrong. Hypertriglyceride, whatever it's called. They want to expand that indication. And if they can get more general use, then this will become a super duper winner. It's already a winner, but it's going to be, could become a super duper winner. Now, Caste is you could view it as a competitor, but I think it benefits from Ameren's run, as you can soon see. Again, I apologize that I did not have the time to update these charts from last week. Dr. J has been like an extremely busy, crazy person. But that's good to be crazy, extremely busy. Maybe not a crazy person, but extremely busy. So this extremely busy person in between had time to take some profits at 136, buying it at 84 pennies, showing it at 90 pennies. We featured this in a vlog. I don't remember when it was 90 pennies. We'll have to look. Probably right around here on early part of June. If you go back, you'll see that Dr. J is talking very favorably about a Caste Pharma back in June sometime. So I came in a little bit earlier than that, 84 pennies, and sold some on Thursday, I believe. I sold some at near the high of the day. The high of the day was 136. I sold at 135, probably too early, but I left half on the table. And that half I am going to let run, fly, baby, fly, no sweat. I already have my money. This is all gravy. So that's how I look at it. And the chart, who can fault this chart? Let's take a look at the weekly so we can get a different perspective. Weekly on this. Weekly. There we go. Well, the weekly doesn't really tell us much more. The only thing you can see right here is that back on 11/20/17, it was at 336. Can we take that out? Back in 10/12/2018, it was $1.80. Can we take that out? I think first the $1.80 goes, and before the $3 one goes. But I think the $1.80 could easily be taken out on a continued run by a Caste. I'd like to see both of them run, Ameren and a Caste. I think they run together or fall together. That's just what Dr. J thinks. TNX, the 10-year. I have never charted the bonds, but I was fascinated by the 10-year. It's had a lot of pop lately. It went up quite a few basis points on Friday to close at 2048, up 9.5 basis points, 4.84%. That is a huge run. That means people lost a lot of money if you were long the 10-year on Friday. But that's okay because they made tons of money on being long the 10-year on through 7/3 when it hit a low of $1.94. The reason for the pop is the jobs report. Tremendous jobs numbers. People worried the Fed will not cut. Dr. J is not worried. The Fed will cut, in my opinion. Powell will submit to the bullets of the world, and I think will succumb to pressure around the table and will cut. Not a half a point, but a quarter of a point. I think the odds on a cut is something like 60% or greater that they cut. And might even be 60% that they cut a quarter, 15% that they cut a half, and 25% that they leave rates unchanged. 0% that they raise. So that's the odds that I've heard. And, we'll see when the Fed meets what happens, but I'm pretty optimistic that it will resume its downward channel, test the lower ends of it, and even go lower. So the problem with this is, and why the Fed should act, is that this is causing an inversion in the yield curves between the short-term notes and the 10-year bond. When we have an inversion of the, whatever it is, 90-day paper, 3-month paper with the 10-year, we almost always get recessions. I don't know exactly what the yields are now. JD says, I hope you're right on the cut. JD, I'm right most of the time, but according to the economists, I have a 60%, 75% chance of being right. So I like those odds. Okay, let's look at the Bitcoin chart, which we got. That's where I lost everybody last time. So hopefully that doesn't happen this time. Bitcoin, let's take a look. That is, got to get to Yahoo Finance. You know what? Maybe it's safer just to do it this way. I'll type in the symbol right in here. BTC, what is it? Dot what? BTC dot, uh-oh. Is it dot X? Dot C? I don't remember. Bitcoin US dollar. What is the symbol? JD, what's the symbol for Bitcoin US dollar? You know it. Let's see if JD is listening. Bitcoin US dollar. Bitcoin. Yeah, here it is. US dollar. Okay, so now we have the chart for Bitcoin US dollar. We had a high. What are we looking at? The weekly? I don't want the weekly. Oh, we could look at the weekly. It made a high on the weekly 2 weeks ago, came back a little, but notice we had buying, not tremendous buying, but this is a nice green candle, equally balanced between an upper and lower shadow. So it came back nicely with a good close on Friday. Looks like it's ready to try that high again, the high being 13,826. JD is still in Bitcoin. JD, new to symbol, BTC-USD. You still in it, JD? We'll see. JD is got his money on the pass line, I believe, on Bitcoin. And why not? I mean, it's had nothing but a phenomenal run from the 590 area, right? Right from this area in here. 600, let's say. So it ran from 600 back in where? Back in 2016, end of 2016, let's say January 2017. So in January 2017, in a year and a half, it's gone from 600 to 13,000. I'll take those odds. That's some freaking run. Watch, pardon my language. I said freaking. All right, so let's look at this high, 19,870. Wow, back in where is that? Back in 12/10/2017. No wonder you like Bitcoin, JD. It has phenomenal runs. But look at that give back. That was pretty drastic, all the way back down to a year later, $4,000. So it went from what, 16,000 to 4,000? No, from 20,000 to 4,000. I mean, this thing has tremendous swings. Too much for Dr. J, but I could see the law of it. And again, the thing I don't like is that we crossed the 50 crossed the 100 back in February. Despite that, we went down. Despite that crossing, we went nothing but up, and we're trying to cross back. And as long as we don't, I think we're in danger of a give back. So I would be a little bit careful here. If it takes out this high, there's nothing but the all-time high to take out. So I should have run back to 13,826. Fasten your seatbelts. It's probably going to go to a new all-time high. What would cause that? I don't really know. I'm not sure if I'm still connected. Can't see anything. Oh, wonderful. So this is the problem with Verizon. I keep losing the internet. Maybe it'll just come back. Verizon keeps knocking me off. So we're having a problem with Verizon. Keeps knocking me off. I don't know what I can do about it. Doesn't seem to like Bitcoin. If I stop screen sharing, you can hear me, okay. I'm going to stop screen sharing and see if the picture comes back. Try that. Not sure that it will, but we'll try. Okay, so now it's good. Yeah, now it's good. JD, I think it's something with Bitcoin. Every time I chart Bitcoin, I get thrown off by Verizon. You think Verizon doesn't like Bitcoin? What's going on? All right, so you know what, JD? I'm done talking about Bitcoin. You're still in it, I suppose? Oh, the rush is better than caffeine. Okay. You got into it at 4K. Well, JD, probably, I ain't telling you what to do, but Dr. J might think about selling half and not worrying about giving it back. But that's up to you, man. All right, let's get back into screen sharing mode. See what happens. Try. Screen share. Okay, that looks good. Something with the screen sharing. Let's see. Oh, it looks okay. Okay, so we're okay with the screen sharing. I'm still not going to look anymore at Bitcoin. It's freaking me out. Every time I have Bitcoin on, I lose connection. Caste pharmaceutical, we discussed. Ameren, we discussed. The Dow and the RUT, we discussed in the first iteration of this vlog. I think I had enough. So I'm just going to say enough of this vlog because I'm all vlogged out. And I'm going to wish you all a happy 4th of July weekend. Independence Day is really what it is. And I should stop screen sharing and see if I get my camera back on me. And I'm going to say good night to good afternoon, good night, whatever, 5:28. I'm going to say sayonara, au revoir, arrivederci. I'm going to say hasta la próxima semana. I'm going to say I lost my picture again. There we are, we're back. So it's been a very iffy connection. Maybe thunderstorms are in the area. I don't know. That's what caused the problem last week. So until next week, probably, because I haven't been publishing as much as I'd like. Maybe I can sneak in one during the week. But happy trading, new highs ahead. Let's look forward to a cut by the Fed. Let's look forward to fishy stuff going up. Let's look forward to Ocular Therapeutics going up. Let's look forward to Bitcoin going up. Let's look forward to the Dow and the RUT and the S&P and the NASDAQ making new all-time highs. Buy all.